Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Kyle.
Marley.
And this is...
Xmen Apocalypse. We'll restart.
3, 2,
Words hurt.
1. Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Kyle.
Marley.
And this is the review of Xmen Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Kyle.
Marley.
And this is our review of Xmen Apocalypse. Apocalypse. We're going to give you our reviews of the good and the bad.
And the ugly.
And the ugly.
Which is the reviews.
Speaking of which, this is a non-spoiler review, by the way, so if you haven't seen the movie yet,
you're fine to watch this.
You're fine to watch this. We will not give away any major plot points or details.
Nope. Only my jacket does. No, I'm just kidding. It's a big jacket. That's it.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Okay, you gotta make a connection. The X-Men, soldiers, military jacket.
It's kind of a stretch. You just should have worn an X-Men shirt. In Rotten Tomatoes, we know that the critics gave this a
48%.
And the fans gave it a
73%. That's what I meant to say.
73%.
73.
Okay, I was confused. Someone's
sorry.
dyslexic over here.
Just a little bit.
Okay, so let's start with the good. What'd you like about this movie?
I liked it a lot. That's
Did you?
my good. I think Jean Grey stole the show.
Sansa Stark.
Sansa. She was my favorite not by super far, but by far-ish.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The new characters, all the new younger cast they introduced, Jean Grey, Cyclops, others, I'm sure.
Quicksilver.
Storm. Quicksilver was already introduced in the other one.
But he was here.
Storm. All of the characters were casted very well.
I loved it.
The acting was very, very good in this one. And the visual effects,
crazy.
they were really good.
Whoa.
I will say there were some parts that were sort of hit and miss that you can tell were done by one studio, maybe not as good, but then the visual effects done by another studio were
not being
very,
an
very
editor
good.
like Kyle.
That's true.
Seems to be. I thought it was good. I didn't notice that.
It was. It was okay. I thought visually it was a really, really good movie. Okay, so the synopsis of this movie is
people with powers, bad guys, powers have to fight back. Bad guys fight back.
No.
People with powers.
That Apocalypse is an ancient mutant who has been in a dormant state and then reawoken during the 1980s. So
was it the 80s?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
You could tell the First Class took place in the 60s. Days of Future Past took place in the 70s.
Decades, so I mean.
Aw, it's okay.
Don't touch me.
Okay. But yeah, so this takes place in the 80s, and Apocalypse is hell-bent on ruling the world.
Yeah, just like everyone.
Just like all other bad guys.
Basically.
In the Marvel universe. And the X-Men have to stop him. Yeah. So Xavier acquires all the X-Men. Yeah.
Not all.
So you said you liked the movie.
Ones. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I liked
really
everything that they did with it. Especially, I know I already said it, but Jean and all her little gang that's together. So it was Kurt, Nightcrawler, and Cyclops, and Jubilee was in it, so that was cool. Whenever they're on screen together, shut up.
Jubilee.
Whenever they're on screen together, I loved it, and whenever they're off screen, I was like, go back to them. Yeah, because I loved their chemistry and I loved the way they worked together. Yeah.
They were really good, but the two who I thought were the best in this movie were James McAvoy as Charles Xavier and Michael Fassbender as Magneto. And Magneto was the heart of this movie. And it stayed with him, and he's the one where you got all the emotion from, and he was really good. Which in contrasts, when we get to the bad part, we'll talk about Apocalypse. But Michael Fassbender did an amazing job as Magneto once again. Yeah. And he was, when he was on screen, I looked forward to seeing him the most.
I agree, but I think that we've seen First Class and Days of Future Past where you've already seen excellent performances from James McAvoy and what's his name?
Michael Fassbender.
So you already kind of know they're familiar with these characters. They're going to kill it. They're good at their jobs. They already know how to portray them. So I think that wasn't so much as a standout to me because I kind of expected them to do really well, and which they did.
Yeah.
So I think it was more exciting for me to see the new, younger generation of how they first got their start of the X-Men.
That is true. I will say that everyone who played their younger selves in this,
I thought it was
they
great
did a
casting.
really good job.
It was really good.
Yeah, the casting was really good. Sophie Turner, was completely the standout as Jean Grey.
For sure. She stole the show.
Yeah.
Every time I saw her, I was like, she is a
cast.
Great Jean Grey.
Yeah, she is. She was perfect. It's weird because I'm so used to watching Game of Thrones that it's weird to hear her with an English accent. So, but she did, or an American accent. But she did a really good job.
Yeah,
I know you don't watch Game of Thrones.
So.
But yeah, another good thing that I really liked is.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Go ahead.
No, you say it.
No, you say it.
Quicksilver?
Yeah. Okay. So. If you saw the Days of Future Past, they did this really amazing Quicksilver scene with Evan Peters, and they doubled down on doing another Quicksilver scene. And when you first
appreciate it,
and when like even though as cool as it was in Days of Future Past, you're like, okay, let's see something new, let's do something else. But when you actually see the scene that they do, you're like, no, do this with Quicksilver every single time a movie comes in, like a new X-Men movie comes in. Make sure Quicksilver has one of these scenes. Yeah. Because it was just so cool all over again.
Yeah, the whole entire time you're watching it, you're like, this is funny. And then also at some point you're like, was he going to get there fast enough? And you're like, whoa.
Well, he's Quicksilver. Of course he's fast enough.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you still, as you're doing it, and you already know in the back of your head, you're like, yeah, he has to save everyone. You're like, whoa, like he's cutting it close, like what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
But also,
just so cool though.
It was so cool, and I mean, this is non-spoiler, but I think people should have given him a lot more credit for that scene.
Okay, so that's probably really true. But I remember when Evan Peters as Quicksilver was announced and they showed him in his silver suit and everything, everyone hated him.
Well, that's because you have the Quicksilver from the X-Men universe, which is Evan Peters, and then you have Aaron something.
Yeah, whatever.
You have Aaron from the Marvel universe, and they look completely different, night and day. You have this buff guy over here who's in shirts, pants, and running shoes. And then you have this guy over here who's in a silver outfit with goggles with silver hair.
That's so cool though. Like if he didn't have that scene in the first one, I think people wouldn't have really liked him as much. But again, that scene with him in this movie, Quicksilver, fantastic. Probably like the most amazing visual part of this movie.
He's really cool.
Which was really good.
Okay, it's such a cool power.
Let's get into kind of some of the bad in this movie.
The bad.
For me,
yes,
Apocalypse. I love Oscar Isaacs, and he did a great job in The Force Awakens.
He's done a lot of great movies.
He did a great job in Ex Machina. Like he's a great actor. So
Star Wars. So
I said The Force Awakens.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
You have to go back and rewatch this then.
No.
He's a great actor. They didn't give him a lot to work with.
No.
And I feel like his stuff was a little anticlimactic a little bit. Yeah. I mean, you see in the trailer, like him shoot the dust through people's necks and they all drop dead. And you're like, man, this guy's really powerful. But when it comes to killing main characters, those powers sort of disappear. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I will say this. I understand where you're coming from, but also...
Just felt like he was underutilized, especially for watching the cartoon and seeing how malevolent Apocalypse is in the cartoon.
Yeah, and I think it was really funny because there's some shots where he's standing next to other characters and you're like, well, he's kind of short.
Yes, true.
Apocalypse, like he should be this
Oscar
big
Isaacs
menacing
is
person.
5'9".
Yeah, he's a short dude in real life, but it's a movie. You can add high heels. You can add whatever you want.
Well, no, that's true. He wasn't as menacing as I wanted him, wanted Apocalypse to be. See, for me, Apocalypse is the big baddie in the X-Men universe. He's the one who that you have to that you're scared of when you think about the enemy of the X-Men. You think Apocalypse and maybe obviously Magneto.
Yeah.
But the big Thanos figure, right, is Apocalypse. And I felt like they didn't do him justice.
I feel like in the very beginning he had a little mystery, a little bit, but then as the movie went on, you want your main villain and you want your biggest villain to have like mystery, and you want them to be like this all-powerful being that you're like, how are they going to beat them? Yeah. They can't beat him. And but in this movie,
didn't get that feeling.
Yeah, in this movie, you didn't. don't think I'm as much as you. I don't think I'm fully on your side. I think I'm kind of in the middle.
Okay.
Where I'm like, I could see it at some points, but at other points, I was like, you gotta make him more menacing. You gotta make him more mysterious. You have to, even though he shows crazy power, you see it, but it wasn't shown in the right light for you to be like,
he wasn't evil.
They can't win against him.
I didn't get that menacing feeling from him. He wasn't evil.
I felt evil from him, but I didn't get super like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, I mean, like, I don't think I would have been as chill as some people. Like, if I was next to him, I would be scared of him. I would be like...
I guess, yeah.
Well, yes, you would be. You see this bald dude who's blue in this big suit of armor.
But not physically. I'm not physically threatened by him.
He has powers.
But he has powers. That's what I'd be threatened by. Watching him melt people in the walls and sinking them into the sand.
That's what I mean. Obviously, like... You don't need to be...
But I don't look at him and I'm like, oh, that's more of a freak, not like, oh, man, I need to be, I'm like, holy... Like, I'm trying to hide from him or anything like that.
But you could say the same thing for, like, if you saw Jean Grey, you'd be like, no, I want to be threatened by her. And then see her turn into the Phoenix and be like...
But Jean Grey isn't she's not the main villain of this movie. Apocalypse is the main villain. I want him to be physically threatening looking. And he really wasn't.
And I think he should be, but I think that him not being as physically threatening as he could be made up more for it with his power. But they should have shown a little bit more of it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. The other thing I didn't like was Jennifer Lawrence. This was my fear from the trailer, is that she wasn't in makeup nearly enough as I think she needed to be. Especially because, and I get it, she's Jennifer Lawrence, and she is the star, and she's becoming a huge player in Hollywood, and she's your face money getter or whatever. But the thing is that even from a story perspective, wasn't her whole thing like mutant and proud? Like, I'm a mutant and I'm proud of it and everything, but she's hiding as Jennifer Lawrence the whole time?
I mean, kind of, because in the beginning of the movie they do kind of explain a little bit. Well,
a little bit.
She doesn't want to be out there. She doesn't want to be the face of it.
But that is like that's literally secondary to Jennifer. We need to see Jennifer Lawrence's face on screen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in a full boat with you. I can understand a little bit because I don't know if Jennifer Lawrence might have been the perfect choice for what's her name, Mystique.
Yeah.
But I think if you had another actress in there, I think another actress might play it better than her. But
right.
I don't think if another actress played Mystique and didn't do her as well, I don't think I would be like, Jennifer Lawrence needs to play her. Like, I don't think I would say that.
I think Rebecca Romijn did a great job in the original X-Men.
I thought she was a good Mystique, but I don't think that's the type of Mystique you need for this universe.
No, I mean,
so I think the one that you have for this universe, Jennifer Lawrence is doing the best she can, and it's fitting the bill for right now.
Another good thing I thought of for this movie, we got a Wolverine cameo.
That was super cool.
And that was an amazing Wolverine cameo.
It looked like more of like the more original Wolverine.
Yeah. And he had the
helmet thing.
Yeah, the gear, the Weapon X gear and everything, and he looked really cool in it. And it's, you don't see him very often. Mm-hmm. It's literally a cameo in this movie to set up his own individual The Wolverine 3 movie, which looks like it'll be rated R. And I don't know how they got away with the PG-13 rating in this movie, because he does some things in this movie that are like,
well, they try to like show it off screen and like you know what's happening.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I thought was really funny?
What's that?
Non-spoiler. Obviously, characters meet in this movie, and when Wolverine meets a character in this movie, I'm like, this is funny. Because you already know some of the stuff that's going to happen with the two characters.
Hey, the timeline changed, so who knows?
Okay, that's another thing. We need to have a whole nother timeline episode because I have a beef.
With the timeline?
I have a beef with the timeline.
I mean, if you're trying to follow an X-Men timeline based on the 2001 original movie, good luck. Because with so many different directors and so many different things, it's crazy. So another thing that I thought was really kind of awkward is right after that Quicksilver scene that we loved so much, there was a pretty dramatic moment that happens that basically shot everything down, like brought everything to a halt, right?
Okay. This is what I was saying earlier. Quicksilver did not get the appreciation he deserved for that scene.
Okay. Well, no.
Because
is that what you were saying?
That was my
okay.
qualm with it. Because
not like the characters in the movie were like, "Hey, good job, Quicksilver." You mean like it was his scene, like Evan Peters' scene, and then something crazy happens right after that?
No, I mean the characters in the movie.
Oh, okay. Well,
Like, we know what happened. We've seen that scene, right? For the trailers, we've seen that scene.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's obvious he's saving people.
Yeah. He gets
Nobody gets the he does not get the credit he deserves for saving like 30 people in that building.
I mean, he saved Professor X, Magneto, and Wolverine in the other
I know
one.
people were like, "Oh, hey Quicksilver," and I was like, "No, like, thank him. He just saved your life."
So and then another thing, Jubilee. Where was she in this movie? She was my favorite X-Men growing up. She had like these fireworks type powers, right? And we heard from the actress who was playing Jubilee that she had these really cool arcade scenes and everything, and she was in the mall, and she has more like plasma bursts, and I was really looking forward to seeing Jubilee
I'm hoping
on
it's
screen.
more in the extended cut, and they just had to
The
cut
Jubilee,
it for, they had to cut
edition.
it for time sensitive reasons.
I really hope that they actually have like her finished visual effects in the cut scenes and everything, because I liked Jubilee, and she did not get any screen time at all in this movie.
Yeah, I think
she had her jacket, she had her earrings, she looked like Jubilee, and we didn't get anything.
I think it's funny that happened because you have the Cyclops. You have Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Nightcrawler all doing this stuff. But when they hung out, Jubilee was part of that group. And so you're having these three people go off. Jubilee is the same age as them. Jubilee has the same powers that basically Cyclops has, but out of her hands.
Right.
So why isn't she helping? Like, why isn't she going with you guys?
Yeah.
You're only saying the other kids in the school aren't going because these are the older kids. These are the ones who are protecting everyone. Jubilee is the same age as them. Let her go help.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I mean, again, like her scenes just may have been cut. I wish they would have.
No, I mean like I wanted her to go be in the fight.
Yeah.
Because she has all the same reasons to be.
Yeah, so there's a slight spoiler. Jubilee isn't as prevalent in this movie as we hoped that she would be.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the next one, the 90s.
Yeah.
90s, and then we'll see what song Evan Peters gets from the 90s to do Quicksilver to, because he got the great song in the first movie, Time in a Bottle, and then he got a good song in this movie too. I won't spoil it for when you see it, but it was a good song that he was doing everything to in this one too. But all right, Marley, 48%, 73% from the fans. Who got it right?
I think the fans got it wrong.
You think the fans got it
No,
wrong?
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I would give it more. I think the fans got it wrong in the fact.
Yeah. I don't understand the hate for this movie. I don't understand why the critics hate this movie so much.
I would give it more than 73. I think I would put it at a good 80%. I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah, this is the first movie where I think the fans like got it wrong because they went too low. I think this was a 78% for me.
I mean, critics, I feel like nowadays, because the last few reviews that we've done, critics, granted, they were not the best movies, but critics are rating things very low nowadays, and I think they're doing this just because they don't want to get hate for putting things too high. So I think they'd rather aim lower than put things higher, because
I just don't think they like superhero movies. I think artsy movies.
They want
better.
more like dramatic, like cinema movie, like cinematic movies where you have lots of story, lots of character development. Maybe not necessarily superhero movies.
Right.
So I think, even though there's a high rise of superhero movies, I think they're getting annoyed with it, and so they're just like undercutting them and putting it lower.
That's our culture. It's what we're growing up with now. Lots of superhero movies. I like it. I love it. Okay, so that was our review of Xmen Apocalypse. Did you guys like the movie? Let us know in the comments. Where would you guys rank it out of 100?
Probably 80s, I would hope.
What did you rank it out of 100?
80.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Yeah, if you agree with Marley, let her know.
Yeah.
Remember to comment and subscribe and like this video because it helps us bring out more reviews later.
Follow us on Snapchat.
Follow us on Snapchat.
Fun times on there. Stuff happens.
Stuff happens sometimes. But as always, this is Kyle.
Marley.
And this has been a critique on the universe of movies.